Hey everyone, Mo here, and before the video begins, I just want to let you guys know that my schedule has opened up for me to do coaching again. So if you're interested in private one-on-one coaching for me to help you, whether you're a newer player and you want to excel at the game very quickly and learn the fundamentals without developing any bad habits early, or if you're an experienced player who's already maybe platinum or diamond in your top 1%, but you need some help filling in the gap to get you to that 0.01%, to make you just some of the best, then hit me up on Discord and I can get you in some private one-on-one coaching lessons to help you polish up any skills you want to refine and help you learn all of the secrets to becoming a top player. That's it. I hope you enjoy the video. Hey everybody, Mo here, and today I'm bringing you guys another Meta Monday. So, I skipped Meta Monday last week to go over the patch notes instead, because, and if you guys saw that video, there is a huge patch last week, which is why I didn't do a Meta Monday, because I didn't see much sense in putting out a Meta Monday video when we're getting this huge, like, 30 card change patch on Tuesday, which could potentially shake up the meta. So, and obviously I got access to everything early, but I couldn't leak what I thought the meta was going to be because I can't break NDA and stuff like that. So now we finally had a full week, or about a full week, with the new cards, the new buffs, changes, all that type of stuff. So let's see how much it actually affected the meta. Let's see if my prediction from 2 weeks ago is correct on saying what I think the upcoming patch would be. I think I remember saying, look out for TF Nami and look out for this Bard Poppy Jarvan deck. And lo and behold, they're both really highly played and both doing really well. There is 2 other decks that I did not see coming that are insanely strong. But now I'll tell you about them and I'll kind of give you guys an idea of like why they're strong. But before we get into the Meta Monday, I wanted to remind you guys that 68% of the people that watch my videos aren't actually subscribed to me. So if you guys could do me a huge favor and click that subscriber button, I'd really appreciate it. Meta Mondays are always my most watched video. So I don't like to plug or sell it a bunch. Like when I stream on Twitch and all that, I rarely ever say like, hey guys, don't forget to sub and follow and stuff like that. But Meta Mondays is the like one time where I feel like pretty okay doing it, because it's my most watched video every week, and a lot of people come back, and I get comments all the time saying, hey, where's the Meta Monday? Where's the Meta Monday? So I'd appreciate it if those of you that, if you do come back every week and you're not subscribed, might as well just hit the subscribe button and the bell icon and all that jazz, might as well, at least that way you can stop asking me. Just get notifications when I post my Meta Mondays and every other gameplay video and deck guide. So that's it. Let's get into the stats. Let's get into the most played decks. So kind of surprising, I didn't realize it was this popular, but number 1 is Annie Twisted Fate. So this comes after a couple buffs to Bilgewater. Riptide Rex got buffed. People realized how good Ravenbloom Conservatory is. Disintegrate got nerfed, but it's still like a very solid card. Disintegrate is still a very solid card. It was really just the Riptide Rex getting buffed and people realizing just how strong Conservatory was, and that it's really easy to level Annie and Conservatory and stuff in this very cheap, 3 Blades Edge, 3 Make It Rains, a couple Death Sand, Stun Spider, stuff like that. It's really easy to kind of level the Conservatory and your Annie quickly in this deck. So this is kind of just like your generic Noxus mid-range deck, Noxus mid-range control deck, where it's basically just play cards early, 1-for-1 your opponent, play things like Ravenous Flock and things like that to kill your opponent's small units. But instead of using Tri-Beam to close games out quickly, this deck uses Ravenbloom Conservatory, which gives you a tie bulk. And then tie bulk closes games out really quickly, because even if they have an answer to tie bulk, then it still leaves an everlasting effect of making all of your damage spells deal 1 more. So if you ever go tie bulk and then you play a Riptide Rex after the tie bulk, your Riptide Rex deals 3 damage to all units, but the important thing is it deals 2 damage to face. So you get 7 cannon barrages now. And that's a potential 14, just blast your opponent 14 to face if they have no units, right? So this card, this combo Conservatory or tie bulk into Riptide Rex is extremely strong. The downside to this deck is it loses to a lot of the best decks in the meta right now. Like, it loses to TF Nami. I think it beats Ahri Bard. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it beats Ahri Bard, but it loses to TF Nami, it loses to Avaya Felios, it loses to really anything that kind of outvalues it. So even like Azir Irelia, I'm sure it does like well into it, because it often has to like get outvalued, and if you can outvalue it and you don't just randomly die to a tie bulk plus Riptide Rex, then you win the game. So any deck that also plays the Shurima Deny, because Shurima Deny just absolutely wrecks Riptide Rex. Oh, that was funny. That was intentional, obviously. But yeah, Riptide Rex puts all the cannon barrages on the stack, and then you go, haha, Lamau, Shriba Deny, cancels all abilities and everything on the stack, and so you just cancel out your opponent's entire turn, and it's really funny for you, but not the Rex player. Deck number 2, and this is one of the 2 decks that I didn't think was going to be so good, it wasn't really on my radar, was Ahri Bard. Ahri Bard has been amazing. It's Manesia's using it to get top, I think it was like top 3 or top 4 on ladder. Right now, this is in the position to be one of my tournament decks for seasonals and tournaments coming up. I already have my tournament lineup kind of picked out so I can start practicing it and really getting a bunch of reps in, trying to get like hundreds of reps in on each deck in the set and stuff like that. Or the set of decks to make for the lineup. And this is looking to be a really solid 3rd deck. I already have 2 locked in for sure. And this is looking to be a very solid 3rd deck for me. Basically, you just want to play a bunch of small elusives. They get buffed up really big from things like Chimes, from Ahri, can kind of swap them out there. But basically, it's a lot of Chimes here. So you play like Bird on 1, you Chime, you can get like Esmus on 2. Okay, well now you Chime again. And everyone knows if you make elusives, if you make unblockable units bigger, then they are a problem to deal with. So, yeah, that's basically just this deck is making your small unblockable units bigger and a problem to deal with. And it's very good. It reminds me a lot of basically just like any elusive tempo style deck is what this deck reminds me of. Number 3. Nami TF. So this is the deck that I kind of told everybody about. That I mean, like I didn't tell people about it and I created it, but I was trying to tell people that you should play this deck. You should play this deck. You should learn this deck. This deck's gonna be really good for seasonals. Lo and behold, patch goes through. I grind this deck out. I don't think I'm gonna have it, but yeah, basically I have over 200 games and a 67% win rate. And for those of you that think, oh, 67% win rate, that's like, you know, not that crazy. Like, oh, if you look at these people, they have, come on, come here, come. Oh, I broke Runeterra.Ar. Let me refresh it. If you look at the people on here, you're like, oh, Mo, they have like 70+% win rates. Like, you only have 67 like percent. That's not that good. It's like, yes, this person has a 70% win rate. Ikato, very good player, 72.5% win rate. You know, Misplay has 74% win rate. Here's the difference. I have 5 times the amount of games that these people have on, and I'm only 2% short. I'm 3% short of having this guy's win rate with 4 times the amount of games played. You know, like this deck is extremely strong. I played it. I got all the way up to my 660 LP, so I'm campable. I have 7-2 seeding now. This deck is extremely strong. And people really should, yeah, I mean, just learn it, man. Either learn to play against it, or ban it. That's my strategy. It's basically just to go into seasonals and ban every Twisted Fate Nami deck I see. So, deck is extremely strong. For those of you that don't really know how this deck plays out, because it is kind of, it's newer if you're a zoomer to LoR, but if you've been around for a while, this deck core is, you've seen it multiple times, all the way since dating back, I think, like almost a year ago at Worlds, where basically the idea is to pass early games, get up as much spell mana as you can. So you pass on turn 1, pass on turn 3, or pass on turn 2. On turn 3, you're going to play Double Trouble, spend all 3 of your spell mana, and then pass again. So you have 6 spell mana at this point on turn 4. So your goal is basically you're just trying to hyper level Nami. Nami says when you gain 8 spell mana plus, she's leveled. It used to be 7, by the way, but she was broken, so they changed it to 8. So you're trying to hyper level this Nami, and then Nami is just going to super buff your elusives because you're going to play it 0 mana elusive. You know, this 3 mana elusive, 4 mana elusive that also buffs your entire board. And with this new card, Tellstones, you now get 2 1 mana spells at burst speed, and one of them's also a pump spell. So you just get to make your elusive units humongous. Oh, what's that? Another trend of making your unblockable units huge? Wow, who would have thought that that was good? So yeah, you make your unblockable units really huge. If your opponent, basically this deck has a lot of value as well. So against things like, the number 1 question I get asked is, Mo, how do you beat Nami TF? Because they remove all of my units. The thing is, yes, they're going to try to remove all of your units, but to remove any of your good units, they have to 2-for-1 themselves. They have to go Stun Spider, Flock. They have to go Make It Rain, Flock. Disintegrate, Blade's Edge. Like, they have to use 2 cards to beat your 1. So you're always going to beat them on card advantage. And then on top of that, if they do this, like if they put both, disintegrate into Blade's Edge on the stack to kill your Nami, you can have glimpse, right? We played 3 glimpse, so you just go, okay, glimpse in response. So now your opponent used 2 cards, and you used 2 cards, but you immediately got them back because of glimpse. So you have the exact same amount of cards in hand as previous, as before this interaction, and your opponent is down 2 cards overall on this interaction. And so you just refill. You eventually play threats. You play, 2 Shellys or so. You play a couple of Luces. You play a couple Namis. And then eventually you just cast this Harrowing card, and Noxus has literally 0 way to deal with Harrowing, and you win the game. The only important thing to keep in mind is that you have to play... I play 2 Vengeance. I think this list is literally exactly the list that I'm playing. Yeah, this is literally the list I'm playing on ladder right now. So you have to have Vengeance for Tybok or Tailstones for Tybok to crumble it. But as long as you have like the Vengeance to be able to kill your opponent's Tybok, then you just win the game. Because they can never apply enough pressure to kill you, and then eventually they're going to run out of cards and not be able to actually deal with the units you do have in play. Or you're just going to Harrowing them on like, turn 7, turn 8, turn 9, and just win the game that way. So that's like how you beat its worst matchup to new. I don't want to be rude and call you guys bad players, but to unexperienced TF Nami players, that's how you beat them. Same with like SI Freljord style decks, like Anivia. People think for the longest time that Anivia beats these style decks. It's literally just wait, like don't slam Nami on 4. Don't slam Shelly on 5. Wait until you have a big enough mana to actually go, oh, you're vengeancing my Nami. In response, machine gun off these spells. My units are too big for you to deal with. Oh, you're killing my Shelly. In response, fire off all these spells. My units now no longer die to Avalanche. Stuff like that. Azir Irelia coming at number 4. This is basically just to counter TF Nami. So this deck is really good into TF Nami. I have not played the matchup yet, but I'm going to trust the stats, and I'm going to trust the good players that play Azir Irelia. And like for those who know, Bajatek, he's a seasonal champion for EU, got top 16 at Worlds. He said this deck literally farms TF Nami just all day. It's just free LP if you play against TF Nami. So if you're looking for a deck to beat TF Nami, play Azir Irelia. Does it beat much else? Not really. But you see here, it beats all the slow decks. So you beat the Anivias, you beat Mono Shurima, you beat TF Nami. You should beat anti-TF, but it's going to be kind of close. And you get absolutely dogged on by number 5, which is Discard Aggro. Now, I know what you're thinking. Mo, Discard Aggro, this is Targon PNC. This is just Ruben Pile. No, this is Discard Aggro. This is Zoomer Discard Aggro. You play a bunch of cheap units, you play a bunch of well-statted early game units, and then you finish it off with a really big Overwhelm unit. Or it also makes your other units Overwhelm. On like turn 6, sometimes, most of the times turn 7, but sometimes turn 6, and then you burn them out with your Get Excited and Mystic Shots. Now, does that sound like an aggro deck to you? Yes, it does. Because that's what this is an aggro deck. You play a bunch of 1-drops and 2-drops, you play Boom Baboon, then you eventually play like Aphelios to deal with Aphelios. Okay, your goal with this deck is literally just go wide, get small points of chip damage in early, save your units, and then turn 6 or turn 7, slam down a Winding Light, say, okay, now my small tiny units are huge, they all have Overwhelm, so they're like pseudo unblockable, hit you for a bunch, oh, you're alive at 6 HP, get excited, get excited. This is not the dirtle around, play, like, I don't play Celestial Trifecta in mine. This isn't, so my version is most certainly not the dirtle around, Invoke, Solari Priestess on 3, Star Shaping, Guiding Touch. No, this deck is literally just discard aggro for Zoomers. If you think aggro is only in Noxus, that's how you know you're an LoR boomer. So, this deck is insanely good. And this is one of the 2 decks, like I said, along with Ahri Bard, that I did not expect to be extremely good. It flew under my radar for sure, and this is actually a deck I'm locked in on for my seasonals. I'm locked in on this discard aggro. Of course, not this exact list. I'll probably be on like 2 Vi, 1 Zoe, 0 Celestial Trifecta, Triple Goat, obviously, over that. Yeah, so I don't know the exact deck list is, but basically my lineups right now for tournaments and for seasonals is discard aggro, TF Nami, and then X. And X right now is looking pretty locked in on Ahri Bard, but that one's the most likely to change. But the discard aggro and where's it at? TF Nami are pretty locked in. Also, look at this win rate, 56.5% win rate. Like, this thing has a 56% win rate. That's so crazy. Number 6 on meta play is Burn. And would you look at that? It went up to 52% win rate. That's crazy. The win rate keeps going up and up and up. We're finally past 50%, peaking up to 52% win rate. Pretty good. People are just starting to play a little bit better, which is really funny because I actually think this meta is worse for Burn than the previous metas, yet it's doing better now. So, I don't know. I think maybe less people are playing it, so the people that do play it have really good win rates with it. Who knows? But yeah, basically it's just Burn, nothing special. People realize that stuns were really good, so we're finally on the triple stage hand, triple Solari stun hog. One Sentry, because Sentry isn't actually that good because of how expensive it is, and it doesn't have that good of a body. You know, and most people most people aren't in the 8-leg thing. Who knows? So that stuns are really good. People are back on Doom Beast. Doom Beast is whatever. It's basically, would you rather play 3 Doom Beasts or would you rather play 12 1-drops and play the 3-man or the 1-mana Fearsome Spider? Really up to you. I think Doom Beast is perfectly fine right now. Number 7, Heimer Jace. So Heimer Jace, nothing really new here. Same old, same old. It's still the tech version. You see here, it plays Adaptatrons, plays Hashtag Handler, only 1 Forge of Tomorrow, plays 3 Production Surge. Very much just like a mono tech deck. And you're just trying to get techs, kill your opponent with techs. That's really it. And number 8 is Poppy Jarvan. So Bard Demacia actually coming in at number 8 really surprises me. I think people kind of just forgot about it, and people saw the Broadwing nerf and were like, oh my god, Broadwing got nerfed. Like, oh no, what will we do? We have to stop playing this card because it got nerfed. No, this card is still insanely good. Like, oh, and they're like, oh, Brightsteel Protector. The Brightsteel Protector nerf was pretty big, but I mean, Barrier is still a good keyword. And fuck it, dude. If you hit a Chime on this thing, it's the exact same unit as before. Let's be real. So, like, you have a chance to unnerf your cards in this deck. That's how broken this deck is. So, I know Prodigy is really high on this deck. I also really like this deck. Basically, if I had to say what's in contention for my 3rd deck right now, it's literally this, Ahri, Bard, and Scouts. Those are the 3 decks that I'm considering for my 3rd deck to be. Because this deck is just so fucking good. The only thing I hate about it, and when I say hate, I mean, like, for those of you that know how much I hated Azir Irelia, this is getting up there. This is getting really close to the levels of how much I hated Azir Irelia, is the mirror match for this deck. Because the mirror match for this deck feels so fucking skillless. It's like, oh, your opponent drew more chimes than you lose. It's like, I didn't even get a chance to outplay. No, you lose. And it's just very, very, very frustrating to deal with. There is such little room to actually outskill your opponent just based off of the RNG factor of, oh, they got a Chime on their Poppy, so they're playing like a 4-mana 3/4 Poppy, and you just literally cannot deal with it. And you're like, oh, look, I tried. Like that, like mirror matches already are really draw dependent, but now you add in this additional RNG factor of not only do you have to try to draw better than your opponent, but you have to also RNG chimes better than your opponent. It's just not for me. So that's the number one thing deterring me from playing this deck on ladder and playing this deck in tournament, is because I really don't want to play the mirror match. But there you have it. Those are the top 8 decks. Thralls fell off. Thralls fell way off. But for everybody that was saying, oh, well, you can't say people like play rates affect the win rate that much. Like, that's so egotistical. Dude, people called me egotistical. People called me elitist. People called me all these things for saying bad players drag down win rates. Look at this. Lysandra play rate drops drastically, but the win rate shoots the fuck up to 57% win rate. And you guys want to tell me that bad players are dragging down win rates? Okay, like even post Promising Future nerf, 6-mana Promising Future, Thralls has a 57% win rate? Like, what? This deck is nuts, man. This deck's so nuts. More people you should still be playing Thralls, by the way, 100%. All you do is you just play Draklord now. But you should 100,000% still be playing Thralls. It's still a really good deck. Fun fact. Like, it's just not as broken. It's not as broken, and you have to actually think when you play it now. But it's still a very, very strong deck. And if you like to use your noggin and your brain instead of just playing cards down, this deck will still give you a bunch of LP. But that's going to be it for this Meta Monday. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Those are the top 8 most played decks, and Masters, so that's what you can expect to play against. Those are the decks that I think are the best. That I was surprised about was the Ahri Bard and the Discard Aggro, but Discard Aggro is phenomenal. And again, my tournament lineup right now is definitely Nami TF, Discard Aggro, and then probably Ahri Bard. So that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a comment down below and a like, letting me know you enjoyed it. Let's type Anivia lol. We'll type Anivia lol in the comments if you made it this far in the video, because holy shit, this deck is so bad, man. We'll type Anivia lol. So that's gonna be it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next video.